Welcome to Cooking Big with Chef Ronaldo. It's that time, the holiday season is upon us. We're transitioning from fall into winter. When it's around this time, there's nothing better for me than comfort food. One of my all-time favorite comfort foods, pot pie. I got a special 2-for-1 for you today. I have chicken pot pie, and for you non-meat eaters out there, I love you, but I got a vegetable pot pie for you. We're gonna do it all at the same time. Come on with me. Let's do it big together. We're gonna small dice one whole onion. We're gonna split them. Use one half for the chicken pot pie, while the other half will be used for the vegetable pot pie. For this recipe, I only use one celery stalk. After washing it, I small diced it and used, again, one half for the chicken pot pie and the other half for the vegetable pot pie. Next up on the list, we have shredded carrots, split into 4 ounces each. Following right behind, I have corn and peas, also split into 4 ounces. Now you know you can't have a pot pie without Yukon Gold potatoes. I cut them up. I did 4 ounces for the chicken pot pie, and because there's no protein in the vegetable pot pie, I did 5 ounces. Next, I have my all-purpose season ready to go, which includes cumin, salt, black pepper, onion, and garlic powder. I want to season high. Make sure you season high. Get all the crevice all over those chicken thighs. That's 2 pounds of chicken thighs that I'm working with. Season that guy all over. Make sure you massage it in on both sides. I like to be able to see my seasonings. If I see it, I know it's there. Now I'm going to heat up my Dutch oven with a little bit of canola oil so I can get ready to brown this chicken. Once our oil is heated up, I'm going to carefully, nice and hot, I'm going to carefully add our chicken. Be careful not to crowd the pan. We're going to do it one at a time. Want to get a nice coloring, but it's chicken pot pie. Get a little bit of color, but I don't want, man down. But we're going to get a nice color, not too much. And that's what you're looking for. Nice golden color, but it's not busted brown. That's exactly what you're looking for. Once the chicken cooled down, I gave it a nice little rough chop. Made sure it was perfect, nice sized pieces for the pot pie. Next, I took 4 cloves of garlic, did a nice little rough chop, and I split them for each dish. Now we're going to heat up the oil for both pans and get ready to cook fillings for both dishes. Next, we're going to start cooking by sauteing onions for both pots. One for the vegetable pot pie, and again, the other for the pan for chicken pot pie filling. Celery's up. Now we're going to add celery to both pans, followed by the shredded carrots. Let them do its thing. Once you have the carrots at both pans, you're going to season it, because that's the beginning of flavor. Make sure you're seasoning both very well. Season the beginning so you ain't got to season that much at the end. Now we're going to sweat out our aromatics before we add anything else. Let them cook down, building flavors. Remember, whatever you do to one pot, you're going to do the same thing to the next pot. Make sure you get it all over, get all that flavor before we add anything else. Now we're going to add our garlic to the pans. Remember, what you do for one pan, you're going to do to the other. Ooh, I wish you can smell this. Now we're going to add our corn and peas. Stir that guy up. Make sure it's real nice. Make sure everything's just sweating out. Just a full marriage of flavors. Now we're going to add our Yukon Gold potatoes. One pot. The next pot. Remember, this pot's going to get a little more because we're not adding any chicken to it. Make sure you stir everything up real nice, especially with the potatoes before you add liquids, because you want to make sure we cook the potatoes as as much as you can, so you can shave some cooking time off at the end of those potatoes. And again, season. I can't stress to you, seasoning. You're building flavors. So put all that yumminess in the pot. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, yum. Stir it up. Stir that guy up. Don't be afraid of it. It's not going to hurt nobody. Yeah. Yummy to my tummy. Now we're going to add white wine to both pans. I would say a little more than a half a cup per both pans. And what that's going to let us do is deglaze the pan, get all the fond or pan drippings from off the bottom of the pan to add that flavor to the pan or to the pot. Now we're going to create a roux to our filling by adding flour. This is about 4 ounces right here, flour. This is for 1 pot for the vegetable. And this is going to be for the chicken. I'm going to use it as a thickening agent, just like if you were doing a basic roux. And what we're doing is just going to make sure you cover that guy, all the flour around, until you try to cover it all in the flour to try to cook it all out. You don't want anything to taste all pasty. You want to try to cook out as much of that flour as you can before we start adding liquid. What you do for one pan or one pot, you're going to do to the other. Now we're going to add both stocks to both fillings, starting with the vegetable stock. And you just kind of almost want to cover that guy. Make sure you're stirring. And for the chicken pot pie, I'm going to add the chicken. Stirring it. Make sure we cover everything that's in that pot before we add the chicken stock to this pot. Want to make sure we get a nice cover, making sure it gets covered in the flour so we can, like I said, when we add the liquid, we wanted to thicken it up. Chicken pot pie filling is not soupy. It's nice and thick. Now we're going to add chicken stock just like we did to the other pot. And again, you just kind of want to cover it. Stirring, make sure you cook out as much flour as you possibly can. After a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, look at the vegetable pot pie. You can always already see that the filling is already starting to thicken up. Look at that. That's textbook right there. Just get it hot before we put the lid on it. Make sure it's building flavors. Add just a little more liquid just to top it off so we can make sure the potatoes cook all the way through. Add a little more stock to the chicken because I want to do the same thing with the chicken. I want to make sure that not only the potatoes but also the chicken cooks all the way through. Make sure it's nice and covered. Making sure the roux that we created is going to help. So by the time the chicken is cooked all the way through, the filling is nice, creamy, and thick. So I'm just trying to stir it all, make sure everything is covered, At the same time, breaking up any lumps I may fill at the bottom. Again, cooking out all that flour. And after a few minutes, you can actually see the flour, the roux is actually working. That vegetable filling is almost there. It's thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. Now we just got to wait for the potatoes to cook all the way through. Next, I sprayed an 8x8-inch casserole dish to get it ready for our pie crust. Now we're going to line our pans with our crust. For this recipe, I did use a store-bought crust. Feel free to make your own. But you'll want to make sure you line it the same way that we're doing now. What makes a chicken pot pie for me is the crust. So I like to double the bottom and also double the top. Press it down nice and hard. Make sure you get all the edges so when you pop it in the oven, the layover doesn't burn. Press it down nice hard. Now I'm going to poke my holes in the bottom with my fork. Make sure you get it all over, nice and covered. At the bottom. And like we've been doing, Just like we did for one pan, we're going to do for the other. Put your holes in the bottom of this pan as well, just like we did for the previous pan. Get it ready for our egg wash. And when I like to do my egg wash, I like to include butter in it. So when you brush it all on, you put it in the oven, get a nice browning on it. Nice golden brown crust. Because for me, let's be honest, it's one of the best parts of the chicken pot pie is the crust. With the filling, you make it up and it's just all goody good and just sorry, forgive me folks, that's that fat boy coming out of me. But make sure you brush all the sides, make sure you get it all down. And season it. Season the crust. You know, because this is not a dessert, you're gonna just do salt and pepper. Now we're gonna preheat our oven to 450 degrees, add our pans, and you're gonna bake it off to like 5 to 10 minutes until nice and golden brown. Voila! Look at that. Nice and golden brown. Golden delicious. Yeah, buddy. Now after about a good 20 minutes of being on the stove, I'm going to add my vegetable filling. You see how it's nice and thick? What you didn't see from this video is that later on I'm going to add cream to it, heavy cream to it, to take out of that brown color. Because if you eat chicken pot pie, it's a little white. The filling is a little bit of like an opaque white type color. Look at the thickness, spread it out. I'm going to try to make sure I get potatoes in the middle, so potatoes not just on one side. I like consistency when I'm eating. You know, we eat with our eyes first. Look at that, nice and thick. Now, as you can see, I added my cream.
Like I said, I forgot to add it. So I added it right in the pan.
Now I'm going to add my heavy cream to my chicken pot pie filling. This has been on the stove for like 20 minutes. My chicken is fully cooked through. And same thing. We're going to start adding now chicken filling to this casserole dish. Look at that. It's nice. It's creamy. It's nice and thick. Chicken is fully cooked through. Look at that. I want to be careful when I lay it into the pan because I want to make sure I got a nice even layer. I don't want one thing just on one side. I want to have my nice chicken pieces. You know, potatoes are fully cooked through. Look at that. Just being careful because as you can see, it's smoking hot. Hot, hot, hot. Me like fire. Me like hot, hot, hot. But just spread it out. Look at the color. You know, spreading it out. You see everything in that guy. Yeah. Now I'm going to double layer the top of my crust for my pot pies. You know, that's the first layer. Look at that. Making sure I'm getting everything off the edges. Make sure there's no layover, because if you don't and you have it on the side, the layovers are going to pretty much just burn. Now here's my second layer. Put the guy right over there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Just put it. See how I'm folding the edges? Just fold them inwards. Fold them inwards. Don't worry about the drip. Don't worry about that. And what we're doing is just being careful. Because this is my own pot pie, normally I would have gloves. But again, this is my own personal dish. And I'm going to, just like I did before, we're going to egg wash this guy. As you can see, I got my butter in it. Going to brush it all over. Nice, nice, nice. Get it so we can get just like that bottom layer, get a nice golden and delicious browning on that crust. Because again, the crust is everything with the pot pie. And of course, you know, I'm going to season that guy. Going to season it. And just like you would a normal pie filling, you're going to put holes in it. That way it doesn't bust open. Allow your filling, allow your ingredients to come and seep through, and just let it breathe, if you will. You know, you can do any kind of design you want. I'm just doing little cross hatches to make it look a little pretty. And the same thing, because my chicken is already done. I got my oven on 450 degrees. I'm going to bake that guy 10, 15 minutes or until nice and golden brown. That was the chicken pot pie, and this is the vegetable pot pie going in. You know? See you in about 10, 15 minutes. Look at that. I just pulled our pot pies out of the oven. I let them sit for like 2 to 3 minutes just so they get cool to the touch. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to slice into them so I can see the magic that's inside. I have chicken pot pie, vegetable pot pie. I told you I wasn't gonna leave you hanging, non-meat eaters. Told you that. Look at it, it looks so golden and delicious. Let's see if the crust makes a sound. Ooh, buddy. Come on, chef. Come on, chef. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. If it was a cartoon, it'd be like, oh, buddy. Oh, I gotta taste this. I gotta taste this. Let me see. 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 Do that thing, boy. Do that thing. That's good. I'm sorry. Look at that. Delicious, delicious. Full of flavor. Nice and flaky, buttery crust. Golden delicious. We did it all together. Now let's sample the vegetable pot pie. It's a good start right there. I love the sound. Let me put that down for a second. Come on, chef. Come on, chef. Look at that. Held together, almost perfect. Look at that. You can see the peas, you can see the carrots, the potatoes. And just like the chicken pot pie, the crust is nice and flaky. Let's see. Let's get our guy a taste. I can taste the garlic, the cumin, the seasoning from the flake, from the crust that we put on the salt and pepper. The peas. If you want to get your kids to eat vegetables, ladies and gentlemen, just like a shepherd's pie, put it in a pot pie. Put them peas. I guarantee you, they're going to eat those vegetables. And where this lacks, just a vegetable pot pie, but it's not lacking. Even doesn't have any meat in it. It's not lacking at all. If somebody brought this to me, and everybody knows I love my meats. This is not lacking at all. It's full of flavor, full of just all savory, buttery goodness. And I'm in heaven right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a wonderful time tonight with you. As always, it doesn't matter who you are or where you are. Don't ever be afraid to do it big. I'm Chef Ronaldo, and I'll see you next time. Bye.